Alright, since all of my rants so far have been about criticizing Planet Zoo, let's put a spin on it and let's talk about 5 things that I do really like about Planet Zoo or that I think are amazing about Planet Zoo. So hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade. I hope all of you are doing well today. And before you start wondering, no, this is not me backpedaling on my last rant video about the issues when it comes to communication between Planet Zoo and the community. I still fully stand by that video. I still think that the communication between Planet Zoo and the community is one of the weakest points of Planet Zoo. Luckily though, they are improving on that matter, which I attribute to the hiring of new community managers recently. So I hope that this trend continues and I hope that we will see more improved communication from Planet Zoo towards the community. But let's put a pin on that one and start talking about the things that I do really like about Planet Zoo. Now you might have things to add to this list, things that I haven't mentioned, or things that you feel personally are great about Planet Zoo. Just put them down below in the comments and I will read them. If you disagree with the list, you can also say that. But I've rambled on for long enough. Let's start talking about the things that I do really like about Planet Zoo. Starting off with lighting. Let's not lie, this is the one and the main reason that I switched over from Planet Coaster to Planet Zoo. The lighting difference between Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo is just so jarring. Like a year into Planet Zoo's release, I booted up Planet Coaster again, and just to see how much the lighting has improved between those two games. And you will see this throughout this video where I will compare Planet Coaster to Planet Zoo and vice versa. That's just because they are both Planet games, like they're in the Planet series, so I will compare them. But Planet Zoo's lighting is just so vastly superior, I would say, to Planet Coaster. Like you can have the same amount of or the same quality of lighting in Planet Coaster if you like use reshade and such. But then I do have the opinion that with reshade you get to like the base level of Planet Zoo. If you put reshade on Planet Coaster, you might, of course, if you are really like savvy with reshade, get beyond Planet Zoo's level. But you basically have to use reshade to get Planet Coaster to Planet Zoo's base level. But yeah, the lighting but for Planet Zoo is just, it's amazing. But then another thing that's amazing, so point number 2 here is foliage. Now there is the caveat here that I would like to see more recolorable flowers, but just the foliage in general, when it comes to Planet Zoo, just the sheer quantity, but also I would say quality of the foliage. Just the sheer quantity of foliage in Planet Zoo, like just even in the base game itself, it's just, there's so much foliage. And then also like comparing the foliage between Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo, this might just be my personal opinion, but the quality of the foliage is just so vastly improved. It just, I don't know, like it hits that special thing with me when it comes to the quality of the foliage. And then like the sheer quantity that continues to increase with almost every pack that they've released so far. With every pack that Planet Zoo releases, there's more foliage. Like I will spend hours just going through the list, and I'm wondering, like, this is just a question for you guys. Have you ever gone through like the foliage list, just looking at things and then just like, wait, we had that plant? Wait, I don't remember that. Wait, what was I looking for again? And then I just spent hours just like looking through it, not realizing that like, oh, I had to build this or I had to use this plant, and I just end up staring at that list. But then yeah, so sheer quantity and quality of all of the foliage, like there's so many trees, bushes, shrubs, flower. Well, not again, like the caveat is there's not as many recolorable flowers, but just the sheer quantity, the sheer quality. And then there's the thing of like, oh, there's this huge list of foliage. That list is easily navigatable, like all of the menus in Planet Zoo. I don't know if this is the correct word. Point number 3 on this list is how easily navigatable all of the menus in Planet Zoo are. Like they've recently really improved their game with this when it came to the Zoopedia. Like they've put filters in there. So a lot of times I will know what I want to build, but I have no idea what animal I want to put with it, because I am a builder. Like animals come second to the build for me, so I will know what to build, but I have no idea what animal would fit in there. So having that addition of the filters in the Zupedia just makes it so easy for me to find whatever animal I could potentially use in whatever I'm building. But then also like making that Zupedia, because this is the thing with Planet Zoo, we're going to get more animals. That list is going to get huge. So making sure that those lists like Zoopedia and a Animal Trade Center or Animal Trade menu, making sure that those lists are easily navigatable, that you don't spend just hours just scrolling through the list and then, oh, you've missed the animal that you're looking for. Like making sure that there's like filters in those menus, then there's also filters that are in all of the other building catalogs, just makes it so much easier to find what you're looking for. And then also when it comes to the building menus, you can also put in your own filters. So I've done that with Can Al-Bashar, where because there's so many plants, I had to avoid spending hours just going through the list and forgetting what I was actually looking for. So I've made custom filters to make sure that like, oh, these are the plants that I have like cataloged for, like these fit in Can Al-Bashar. I've done that not actually with Valhalla, which I should do, but I've done it with like the secret project that was cancelled. That filter is still there, but yeah, all of the menus, like they are dense. Planet Zoo has put in the effort to make sure that you can easily go through them. If you're looking for something, it's easily found. So kudos to Planet Zoo for like spending the time to smooth out those huge catalogs of animals and building pieces, foliage. I would say even like the management portion of the game with like hiring stuff and all of that. It's like, it's not that you feel like you're looking through an encyclopedia trying to look for the thing. Like everything is like easily found. Things that are most important are like front, right, and center. And like the detailing is the navigatable menus is the third point. Then the fourth point, which is really important to me, is just the sheer freedom that Planet Zoo gives you. When it comes to freedom, I mean like Planet Zoo doesn't force you or like push you into a direction of like what to build. Like sure, it's Planet Zoo, so the intention of the game is to build a zoo. Throughout Can Al-Bashar, throughout Valhalla, I had never felt like I was pushed into building a zoo. I could use Planet Zoo for a building simulator, and it's been completely fine. Yes, my PC hates Can Al-Bashar. Like, I legitimately don't have to put the heating on when I'm building in Can Al-Bashar because my PC will get so warm that it will heat up my entire room for it. Just the sheer freedom. Like, it gives you like this gentle nudge to build like a zoo, to have things with animals. And like, of course, the main objective of the game is to build a zoo. But if you want to use Planet Zoo for like a building simulator, as I do, the game just completely allows that. And then I have to make the side note here that the art style when it comes to Planet Zoo is also just like perfectly chosen to allow that freedom. Because yes, the guests are cartoony, like they are, I would say they look kind of like they've been molded out of Play-Doh. Like they look a little bit like Sims 3 characters or Sims 3 Sims. But you can easily just work around that. Like all of the art or the entire art style of Planet Zoo is like, it's distinct enough that it has a certain art style, but it's also loose enough that like if you want to build Toontown, you can do that. If you want to build a completely realistic city, you can do that. If you want to build a fantasy world like I do, you can do that. The art style in no way limits you in what you want to build. And yes, as I said, the guests look cartoony. The stuff looks a little bit cartoony, but this is like such a minor thing to me. And it's like, if you want to build like a very realistic city, they are like cartoony enough or not like too cartoony so that it doesn't become this like jarring thing of like, oh, I have this very realistic build, and then you see the guests and it's just like, ew, what's happening? Like it works just well enough that it blends in easily together. I don't know if I'm making sense here anymore, but the art style when it comes to Planet Zoo allows for this freedom of whatever you want to build. And then the general game gives you this freedom, like you can build whatever you want. Then the last point, which of course when it comes to Planet Zoo is probably one of the biggest points that has to be done right for Planet Zoo to work, which is just how the animals look. Like I've heard some places that like, yes, the animals also have a little bit of an art style, like they don't look as realistic as they are in real life. But again, it just works. And also, like, I just love how fuzzy, like, or floofy all of the animals are. And just overall, the animals in Planet Zoo look amazing. Like, this is basically, like, you can't really say, oh, they look ugly. Like, they look good. Like, yes, there's, of course, a little bit of the art style involved in the animals or influencing the animals. But I would say, overall, the animals look amazing. Like, this is one of the things that Planet Zoo really gets right for me with every animal. They all look amazing, and even if there's a little bit of art style, you can definitely see of like, oh yeah, this animal is that animal. Like, yes, the guests are cartoony, but the animals are more veering towards the realistic side. And I just also love how like every animal that's supposed to be like floofy and like has a lot of fur looks like that. And then looking at like the crocodiles or like the lizards or just anything with like scales and such, it really looks like scales. Like, they put a lot of effort in the visuals of the animals. And I just, as I said, I'm a builder. Animals come second for me. Most of the time the animals are kind of like a, you know, decoration to me. But just because how the animals look, I also still want to put animals in my build because it livens up the place. They look amazing, and just the animals, the one thing that Planet Zoo really had to get right, they did get right with how good the animals look. Yeah, that's basically all of the list. So let's quickly wrap it up by quickly going through every point again. So point number 1, I really love how good the lighting is in Planet Zoo. And then also, point number 2, the amount of foliage that we get and the quality of the foliage. Like, I just love building like natural spaces just because the plants look so good in Planet Zoo. The menus, so point number 3, are so easily navigatable. I still don't think that that's the correct word, but we will go with it now because I'm Poisonblade. I don't know grammar or spelling or what's words, what's language. But yeah, so the menus are very navigatable, and they've recently put a lot of effort into making the menus more streamlined, more easy to find what you're looking for. Then the sheer freedom, so point number 4, the freedom that Planet Zoo allows you if you want to use it as a building simulator. The game completely allows that. If you want to build a zoo, completely allows that. Whatever art style or like whatever direction of building you wanted to go for, Planet Zoo doesn't provide any hindrance. Like, the art style in Planet Zoo is just like, it's distinct enough to have an art style, but also loose enough so that you can build whatever you want with it. And then the one thing that Planet Zoo really had to get right, the animal visuals. So point number 5, the animal visuals just are, I would say, out of this world. So that's my list of 5 things that I do really like about Planet Zoo. I would love to hear if you agree with me, disagree with me, if you have any points that you would like to add. But these points are just like, these are the things that really keep me building in Planet Zoo. So hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, there's the like and subscribe button if you want to see more. There's the notification button, but before that one starts working, I won't be able to roast marshmallows on Kayan al-Bashar anymore. Anyway, I again hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.